All right, I think it's rolling, huh?
Yes,
All right.
it is. It's rolling? All right.
Okay, well, welcome everyone. Today is Saturday morning. It's about 10 a.m. January 29th. January 29th. And today we're going to be talking about leads and dialing. Everyone's favorite subject in the business, right? Daniel here, right?
Yeah,
Daniel's new with us here at Assura, and currently he is helping us book appointments for agents, right?
You're right.
Dialing all the leads.
Yep.
And you've been doing that for about a month, maybe? Right?
Not even a month, but you
Not
can say
even
a month.
Sure. Okay.
Very
all right.
close.
So, as you start in this business, you have access to your, products, and you have access to training. But what you need in order to start writing business is you need to either get referrals or you get to dial on leads, invest in your business. So we have a marketing program, right? And our marketing program is mortgage protection life insurance. So mortgage protection is not a product. It is a concept of a life insurance product. So when people buy a new house or refinance their house, we want them to buy enough life insurance to help them protect their family in the event of a death, disability, injury, based on their wants, their needs, and their budget. Okay? So we send out direct mail letters, tens of thousands of direct mail letters nationwide, looking for people that are looking. So this envelope is received by people. Some of them open it, some of them don't, some of them read it, some of them don't. But the ones that do read it and have some interest, think it's a good idea, want more information, hand fill out a card,
right,
and send it back to us.
Exactly.
And as an agent, once licensed and trained, because there is training, right? Training on process, training on underwriting, training on tonality, pace, tone, voice inflectuation, volume, because it's not what you say, it's
what you do,
how you say it,
how
right?
You say it.
What you do, right? What you do, you control yourself. You're dialing on these leads, right?
Yeah.
And with the process should come confidence and years and years and years of experience behind you in the verbiage, in the process that we take our clients in. So people send it back these cards, and agents are purchasing these leads from Assura, from Quility at a subsidized cost, right? So it's a shared lead cost. There's a mutual investment. We're partnering together, okay? Now, you've been dialing on these leads recently?
I've been dialing on all leads, yeah.
On all leads. So initially when you started, which is about a month ago, we gave you some really old marketing pieces. Something like, let's call it like a year to 2 years old, maybe even 3 years old.
There was 3 years,
right?
But that's all right.
It might have been 3 years old, right? And as you started to dial, what was your experience with these leads?
So obviously you get trained, right? And you have a script, and the script tells you for any objections, and you need that. Without that, you get lost. You don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Sure, it kind of gives you a little direction.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of the important things was also the training. So what I did my first day, I hadn't even went through the script a lot. I made calls just to see. You want to kind of see how it is, how people are.
Yeah.
And I managed to set two.
How are people? You said how people are. How are people?
Sometimes they could be rough. Sometimes you can catch them at a good timing, and it could be very smooth,
And
very
really
nice. And they were interested, but no one ever called them, or no one was ever like that. They didn't have the way. They didn't feel the vibe between them. So they were like, no.
I always talk about the vibe. You mentioned the vibe.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the vibe is like how you resonate with the client. Like, sometimes, have you ever felt like I like someone but I don't know why?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the vibe.
And if you come
You know
off
what I mean?
rude,
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, you know what? I don't want insurance anymore. Even
Sure.
if I was interested, I don't want it with you.
Yeah,
I
sure.
I don't want to give you.
I don't think
that.
it's about being rude. I think it's more just you don't connect with that person.
Yeah, if you don't have the right tonality, the
because our tonality on the phone is sort of assertive, right? It's a business firm tonality. Remember, when people send in these cards, they're not sending in a Facebook friend request, right? They're not looking for new friends. And generally speaking, people don't feel like when you're overly nice to them on the phone that you want something from them.
Exactly.
Right? So we kind of have this balance in our training with having this, we call it business firm tonality, right? If I like to describe it as I take what I do seriously and I'm serious about what I do. right? That's
Right.
kind of the mindset I feel like we
Yeah.
try to embody on the phone.
Of course.
And I think the idea there is not to push, but to attract,
Yeah.
to pull people towards you, right? So you were calling these people first day, calling really old leads. How many calls do you think you made that first day?
It was only a couple of hours. Maybe it was
Couple
50.
hours. Okay.
Maybe, But that's the thing. I made the calls and I managed to set one. I wasn't the best. I didn't know what to say at first. My first lead that answered me, I think I hang up midway because I didn't follow the script. I should have followed better.
Yeah, you got nervous. You didn't know where to go.
You get nervous.
Yeah.
It's normal. It's
Yeah,
an old lead.
I
but
know
it's
how that
okay.
feels, right? You know how that feels, right? Yeah, yeah.
So it's okay. But what I learned was, even though I set that one, when I went through training with you and every
Yeah.
weekly training, I
Yeah.
learned tonality, the way you speak slower.
Yeah.
People need to understand you. If you just want to rush through it, the script,
Okay.
then they're gonna be like, Dan, what is this?
That's a good tip. Be mindful of your pace, right? If you're speaking too fast, sometimes people can't understand what you're saying. And sometimes they feel like you're a fast talking salesperson and they don't want to do business with you right away. Right? So you really kind of got to be mindful of your pace as you're dialing on these leads.
Yeah, and they'll tell you at the end of it, like, what is this about?
Yeah.
And you thought you had them, but no, you're just going too quick, and they're like,
They don't even know what you're
they
talking
don't even
about.
know what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Makes
and that's
sense.
when they feel offended, like you're trying to go so quick.
It's funny because I used to tell, I've told agents before, our process is so effective that sometimes people will give you all their information and they have no idea what you're talking
That's
about.
happened to me.
It's just, because we're assertive, because we have a process, because of, like, we're leading people, we just go, they just kind of follow. And sometimes they're like, where are we going again?
Yeah.
Right? They don't even know where you're going.
And that's when there's a vibe, there's a connection. You have to be slow. You have to tell them what it is.
Yeah.
Because they were interested. This
They
is not
were.
a random call.
It's not a
your
random call.
Car insurance.
And
warranty.
even if it was, a lot of agents get scared to call older leads. I mean, personally, I think that old leads are juice. There's money in old leads. There's a good ROI on old leads. It's just a matter of putting in more time than it is money, right? People want to make that lesser investment of money, but they're not willing to make a bigger investment in time when you're calling those old leads. Because, when you get brand new leads, we don't sell all of them. Some of them want to think about it. Some of them want to wait. Some of them want to shop around. Some don't think they can qualify. Some change their mind. Some get too busy. Some get no-shows. Some reschedule. Some fall through the cracks. And those all end up in the B leads, right? In older leads, in recycled leads, second chance leads. They're called so many different things.
But even the B leads that are very old, like 2 years,
Yeah.
I told you, I've called 2-year B leads and I've set them and they've been sold.
And they've been
right?
sold. No, they will. Buyers are buyers are buyers is what I
And
always
the
say.
good thing about them is, what are you going to lose? You make a phone call, the worst they can say is no. Go on to the next. You learn. You
Yeah.
go through the script, you learn your tonality,
Yeah.
you learn your speed. You kind of see if someone is bothered by you, you kind of know why, and then you change that and you get better and better. And you start setting more and more.
You said something about being like dialing and getting discouraged, right? Like, why do you think people get discouraged on the phone?
Because people could be, telling them off. Could be like, I don't want this. So many people already called me, and it could quickly accumulate. Like, oh, it's not working.
Yeah.
We've had times a whole day where I'm calling for hours and nothing.
Yeah.
But I've had one day, like last week, I had one day, 2 hours. I set 5.
Yeah.
It can be, a timing game. You
Sure.
catch someone on a good timing.
Okay, so timing is right.
So if you catch someone on a bad timing, if I'm mad and everything, I'm not gonna work with the person that calls me. But if I'm happy, I'm in a good
So,
mood.
so I think if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying people get discouraged because they let what people say on the phone get to them.
Yeah.
Right? And because of the lack of appointments that come from maybe the little time that they put in.
Yeah.
Right? And I think those are two key factors, right? On the phone, you have to have thick skin. You cannot let what they say affect you and your mission and your mindset and your purpose and your results and your ability to provide for your family.
And
right?
to add on to that, Mo,
Yeah.
the first thing when I came is the mindset is I want to try this, I want to do this, but I want to push really hard to see where I can go with this. So the biggest mistake I think people make is when they make a phone call and they kind of get into an interaction with someone, just don't go too far. If you see that they're really not interested, they're telling you off, just hang up and go to the next.
Okay.
Why you gotta waste your time for
Sure.
someone that doesn't want it?
Sure. Yeah.
It's gonna get into your head and it's gonna waste your time.
I think what I hear you saying is that, like, we're looking for people that are looking, right? And, I like the way you said that. It made me feel like just because they were willing to talk to you, it doesn't mean that you felt it was a good idea to book an appointment. if you're talking to someone that maybe they're just talking and talking and talking and talking, you got to realize like, these people are just biting your bait. They're not going to bite. They're just eating your bait, right? They're not going to bite. You're not going to get this fish on the hook. So you got to let it go.
And even from
right?
experience, it's good
and
to
cut. Oh, you said hang up on them to the point where you're cutting them off. Like it looks like I can help you. You're gone.
No, it's not like it looks like I can't help you. So I'll tell you an experience I had.
Yeah.
It's good to push. It's good to like push
Yeah.
and kind of remind them. Some people, they're lazy. They want someone to kind of give them that push to go. But a lot of people, if you keep pushing, I had this person that I spoke to for 10 minutes. And you know what? It was my fault. I kept on going. I kept trying. She doesn't want it. She stayed on the phone, okay? She doesn't have anything to do, but I'm just wasting my time. So by the end of it, she was like, even if I wanted this, I don't want it anymore. You gotta know when to stop. So that's kind of the most important thing.
You do got to know when to stop. I think that's a good idea. All right. So recently we gave you some fresher leads, right? I gave you some leads that were like, let's say 30 days to 6 months old. And you started dialing on those. I think it was yesterday, actually. It was your first day dialing on them.
Yeah.
Right? And you started dialing when yesterday?
Maybe 11. I started 10:30,
11 a.m.? Okay, 10:30.
There's on and off if you go.
Sure. So not super early. Not super early. Not 7 a.m., not 8 a.m., not 9 a.m.
No.
Kind of midday, right?
My plan was 9, but then I got busy. You have breakfast.
Life happens, right? Yeah,
it's okay. But
all right. So you started around 10, 10:30, 11, and you dialed until when?
Until like 5.
Until like 5.
If you
so
wanna...
kind of like a full day, really. Like let's call it 10 to 5 is a full work day.
Yeah.
Were you dialing the whole time? Like you didn't put the phone down. You didn't get off your chair.
So I was dialing more to like 6:30, but because of me getting up, going this,
I see.
That,
okay.
I kind of just made it consistent 10, 11 to 5, right?
I see. Okay.
And at the start, it was going really good.
Yeah.
And I set 5 appointments in like 2 hours.
In like 2 hours.
And then it
dialing
slowed
on
down.
the second chance leads as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it slowed down, and I didn't set for like an hour or two, and then I set back again, and I ended up with like 10, 11 sets for that day.
10, 11 sets.
Doesn't mean they're all gonna show, but you set 11. Your goal is to set.
Nothing works 100% of the time.
Yeah.
But
even the sets
but most of those I'm sure will show.
Yeah. And not all the sets will sell, but you set. That's your goal. You set. You want.
Yeah, you can't see anyone if you don't set anyone. You can't sell anyone if you don't set anyone. So it all starts with making those calls and getting those sets. So what you're saying is, at this point, you haven't really dialed on any brand new fresh leads.
No A leads,
right?
It's been
no A leads.
3-6 month leads.
And you've been dialing on second chance leads, dealing with objections. It's only been a few weeks for you, but if you were to just say like what your advice is to someone who is where you were a month ago, which is just first getting on the phone, what would your advice be to a new dialer or a new agent who is who's just getting on the phone or maybe having a challenge on the phone?
Well, I know people that are very nervous. They don't want to make phone calls. They be like, what if this guy tells me that? Don't worry about the person. Worry about yourself. You want to keep on dialing. You want to just set appointments. It doesn't matter who they are. They were interested at one point. Even 2 years later, maybe the guy refinanced and now he's interested in the situation he is now.
Yeah.
You never know when you'll catch a person on a good timing. And that's the most important thing. But also that just because you set doesn't mean you're the best. There's always something to learn. And you taught me, Mo, a lot, tonality, the pace. And when you deal with customers and let's say you go off script a little, it's not always the best idea.
Sure.
But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's an experience. You learn. Every day there's something to learn.
Yeah, sure. So, wow, I mean, this has been really great talking to you, Daniel.
Thank you.
Honestly, in your tonality, you got a lot of energy, kid, right? You got a lot of fire and you got a lot of energy, and I can see how that energy transfers to people over the phone. I always talk on the phone that you need to be an energy giver. If your energy level is lower than the person that you're speaking to, you're draining energy from people. Who likes to be around someone that's draining?
No one.
No one, right? So it's on the phone. People can feel that. I can feel your energy, right?
And
you speak with, you're doing a lot of this and a lot of that, and how old are you, Daniel?
I'm 21.
21. Well, I'm really looking forward to working with you more, and I think that you have a very prominent career in honestly whatever you're going to choose to do, because you have like it. You know what it is? I don't know what it is either, but you got it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know what it is. Sometimes we don't know what it is, but we know what it is, right? It's it. And I think you got it, and I'm looking forward to seeing you grow and seeing you build in regardless of whatever wherever you
And
decide
just,
to go.
just to put a note, the script is very good because it tells you when you got to be serious, when you got to be friendly.
Yeah.
It makes the interaction easy and it works because, like you said, they'll give you information even if they don't know what it is. Sometimes that's how good the script
That's
is.
how good the process is. Yeah, yeah. Okay, all right. Well, yeah, I think that's a wrap.
That's it. Yeah.